Hello again everybody, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Outlaw Golf. And last time we took on the event Stroke Me and we completed it and all that stuff. Hit the freaky front nine on this totally bitchin' skins challenge. Went all over this through some and take a bow. Again, if you press X, you'll be able to see the conditions for the holes. The Ellis driver, model 2112R, loft medium spin low, distance best for advanced players only. The club offers maximum distance at the expense of everything else. So, yes, the loft won't be as great, the spin will be pretty low, and you'll have great distance. So, take that. If you notice there on the model name, it said 2112R. That I believe that I'm like 100% certain that was a Rush reference.
Hey hackers and duffers, glad you can join us here for
another
round of golf here at the
those two things normally wouldn't go together unless it was, Rush related. I'm pretty sure that was a clear Rush reference. Like when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, Rush reference!" Of course, it's not really that big of a deal, but that was during a time that I was running that I was discovering all the Rush references that are out there. Like in movies like High Fidelity and I Love You Man, obviously, Freaks and Geeks, the episodes, or the show. I have not actually seen that episode, or have not seen that show, sorry. I want to see that show, because of all the Rush references, but, and, Paul Rudd, but, also in, Nightmare on Elm Street with
leather-clad golfing diva whose name is all about discipline. Inflicting maximum punishment on every ball she hits is Mistress Suki, assisted by her bruised and battered but amiable 300-pound whipping boy caddy, Puddin'. Watching these two out on the course is an excruciatingly...
Okay, we had a bit of a video skip there, and I do apologize for talking in the intro. I might edit that out or something. I might edit out that little part. I don't know. And if I can make it work, actually, I can probably put it to the very front of the video, or the very beginning of the video. That way, it doesn't cut into the intro. So I can only hope, right? Rush references. They're all over the place, but
covered some ground.
And that's just because a lot of people are closet Rush fans that would never openly admit it because they would be made geeks of. They would be ostracized into either an outcast or they'd be ostracized from any of the popular kids, but still. But they would be made outcasts, and nerds and what have you. But anyway, talk about Mistress Suzuki a little bit. She is easily considered the worst person to go against in this game at any point in time. Well, no, not really at any point, but like at the late events of the tour, she is the worst enemy because if you remember on her statistics, she had kind of in the middle of the road.
Third shot.
Distance. She had very poor composure and kind of right in the middle with control, but she is really accurate, so that makes for a lot of trouble, especially when the AI gets high enough to where she knows how to use it. Basically,
for an attempt at birdie.
I mean, she was not too much trouble in this event, but she will be later on. I promise you that. Like probably the reasons that I would probably go 2 or 3 days without posting a video would be because of constantly trying to beat the events again. It's funny, I've beaten those events like I've beaten the tour about roughly I would say about 5 or 6 times now, and I still have trouble with that event. I don't think I've ever beaten it on the first try. But if we do this time around, oh, man, I'd love to see that. Excuse me.
Second shot. Second shot.
Yeah, I would say that if anybody's the toughest character in this game, it's gonna be Mr. Suki. I can almost guarantee that.
Second shot.
Cause yeah, almost everybody else is kind of like mincemeat compared to her.
Talk about wiping the dimples off
At least for the most part. But something I do want to talk about, which I didn't get really the chance to, well, I did get the chance to talk about it, but I didn't get to say what all I wanted to say. And hopefully I will be able to do that this time. And that is about golf appropriately. But more specifically, the Masters. Which, you know, the final part of the event is actually happening today. Well, the final round of the event, sorry. And you know, when it comes to golf, generally speaking, I am a Tiger Woods fan. You know, I was pretty sad about the, you know, about the whole incident and all that stuff. But at the same time, it revealed that you know, success got to his head just like anybody else, which makes him human. You know, some people say, oh, you know, well, there are celebrities out there, you know, who don't, you know, indulge in such, you know, things as, you know, prostitutes and whatever, and cheating on and mistresses and whatnot. And it's like, well, yeah, but you know, but we all but at some point we always get away from, we always indulge in something, you know, and sometimes it takes a little bit of somebody, you know, of an intervention of some sort, you know, maybe to get us back to level ground and all that stuff. And you know, Tiger pretty much had nobody to do that for him. So, of course, he was kind of in, you know, that's what happens when you're sneaky, though, is that you don't have anybody there to be watching over you 24/7. I bet you his parents, if anything, would have probably caught it, but, or his dad anyway, maybe, but, either way, you know, there was always something that you know, puts people back on level ground, and for Tiger, unfortunately, it was the press. The tabloids, the press, everybody, every part of the media, which is not the people you want to be, you know, to be humbling you, in a sense, you know, because they humble you and then they completely degrade you, you know, they're completely demeaning people, usually, you know, because think about it, there's a lot of celebrities who indulge in sex all the time, like, you know, like rock and rollers, like from, like, the 80s, like, you know, like the guys of Motley Crue, like Tommy Lee, you know, or whatever, you know, those guys, you know, have babes all the time. I mean, they could be, you know, Tommy Lee was probably having sex with about 1,000 girls while he was, you know, dating Pamela Anderson, you know. Nobody said anything to him about it, right? You know, I mean, there are certain reasons why, you know, certain people get in trouble for certain things, but for Tiger, it was because he was an idol to people, you know, because he was on the Wheaties box or whatever, you know, and, you know, Tommy Lee wasn't, you know, but I still don't think that, I don't think people should cloud their thoughts into thinking that somebody's immune from such, you know, indulgences and temptations, but yet, you know, people still believe that, oh, you know, Tim Tebow, you know, people think that, you know, he's completely immune to it, and he's not. I'm not saying that he will he will be tempted. Well, he's probably already been tempted, but like he hasn't, gone and, get into those things like drinking and partying and clubbing and all that stuff, and getting completely effed up on drugs and stuff like that. The only reason why he hasn't is because of his, probably because of his religion, or his constant
second shot
religiousness, if that makes any sense. Like he spends more time thinking about God than God does himself, I mean, but anyway, back to the golf thing. I actually believe that Tiger was going to be the huge favorite for the Masters tournament, but of course, he's kind of out of it now because he's had some pretty bad rounds, and people are kind of raving over his little tantrums that he's having on the course. I mean, I normally wouldn't like to call them tantrums, really, but but they kind of are, because he's clearly frustrated himself. I mean, I've seen some people that actually have done much worse, because of hitting a bad golf shot, Some people completely dampened their own rounds. Like that's all they did. They spent time kind of pondering over, the bad shots and not, and then they play terribly, or people who break their clubs, Tiger didn't break his club. He kicked it like 10 or 15 yards. Fine. He didn't break it though. He actually had a better chance of breaking his toe than the club at that point. But people still give Tiger so much crap, and it's kind of pathetic in my opinion. I mean, given that, yeah, he does have he is almost cussing under his breath, more often than a lot of people do, but I've seen some way bigger meltdowns than what Tiger's doing, so I think people should just leave him alone a little bit. Leave Tiger alone! No, but personally, I am rooting for Phil in this tournament, in the Masters tournament. I'm hoping he wins, because if Tiger Woods has no chance whatsoever, then go for Phil. If Phil doesn't have really a chance, well, it just kind of depends on who's playing that week. But yeah, that'll be the end of this the end of the first part of this video, and I will see you guys for the conclusion. See you guys later.